People always ask me, Steve, what do men really want in a woman? And I tell them it's not about looks, curves, or makeup. Don't get me wrong. Every man appreciates beauty, but beauty fades. And when it does, what's left? See, 95.7% of men, and I'm talking about real men, not boys playing games, are drawn to confidence. That's the trait that pulls us in, holds us, and keeps us inspired. A confident woman walks in the room and doesn't need to be the loudest voice. Her presence alone says, I know who I am, I know what I bring, and I don't need your approval to feel valuable. Let me tell you something. Confidence is quiet, but it's powerful. It's in the way she carries herself, the way she speaks with purpose, the way she refuses to settle for less than what she deserves. People always ask me this one question over and over again, Steve, what is it that really draws a man to a woman? What's that one thing that makes a man stay, respect, and commit? And every time I smile, because folks expect me to say something like beauty or shape or the way she dresses. But let me tell you something that's not it. Looks might catch a man's attention, but they won't hold his heart. What really makes a man fall deeply for a woman, what truly pulls him in, is confidence. That's the real deal. That's the trait 95.7% of men are drawn to, even if they don't say it out loud. A confident woman moves different. She doesn't chase, she doesn't beg. She doesn't question her worth just because someone else can't see it. When she walks into a room, she doesn't need to announce who she is. Her energy speaks before her words do. That quiet strength, that self-assurance, that glow that says, I know who I am. That's what captures a man's attention. It's not arrogance, it's not pride. It's the piece of a woman who's learned to love herself. You see, when a man meets a woman like that, it shakes something inside him. He realizes he's not standing in front of just anybody. He's standing in front of someone who knows her value and won't settle for less. That kind of woman doesn't ask for respect. She commands it by the way she carries herself. And here's the thing, a real man, a grown man, doesn't feel threatened by that. He feels inspired by it. It makes him want to rise to her level, to become the kind of man worthy of standing next to her. Confidence isn't about talking loud or being flashy. It's about quiet strength. It's about not needing validation to feel beautiful. It's knowing that your worth isn't defined by who likes you, who left you, or who failed to appreciate you. It's defined by how you see yourself when nobody's watching. And that kind of woman, the one who's at peace with herself, who knows her goals, who doesn't depend on someone else for happiness, she becomes magnetic. Men can sense it. They can feel it in how she looks at herself in the mirror, how she walks, how she speaks, how she handles herself. When life throws challenges her way, confidence isn't something you put on like makeup. It's something that comes from inside. It's built through experiences, through growth, through heartbreak, through lessons learned. And when a woman reaches that level where she's not chasing love, but attracting it, not proving her worth, but simply living it, that's when she becomes unforgettable. The truth is, a woman who's confident doesn't need a man to complete her. She's already complete. She doesn't see love as survival. She sees it as a choice. And when a man realizes that, he respects it. Because men want to feel needed, yes, but they're drawn to a woman who wants them, not because she's lonely, but because she's strong enough to stand alone and still chooses to share her life. That's power. Confidence is the foundation of everything beautiful in a woman. It's what makes her laugh louder, love deeper, and live freer. It's what keeps her from comparing herself to others. It's what reminds her that she's enough even when the world tries to convince her otherwise. And when a man meets a woman who carries that kind of energy, that grace, that peace, that confidence, he doesn't just see beauty, he sees purpose. He sees strength. He sees the kind of woman he doesn't want to lose. So if you ever wonder what truly attracts a man, stop thinking it's about being perfect. It's not about being the prettiest in the room or having it all figured out. It's about being real, being grounded, being confident in who you are. Because when you stand firm in your worth, you give off a light that no one can dim. And that light, that confidence is what 95.7% of men can't resist. You know, every time I talk about relationships, someone always asks me, Steve, what is it that men really want in a woman? What's that one trait that makes a man stop in his tracks and really pay attention? And I tell them the truth. It's not about the curves. It's not about the makeup. It's not about the fancy clothes. Don't get me wrong. Men notice those things, but those things are temporary. They fade, they change, and they don't hold a man's heart. The one trait that truly draws a man, the trait that 95.7% of men are naturally drawn to, is confidence. That quiet, powerful confidence that comes from knowing who you are, valuing yourself, and not being afraid to show it. Confidence isn't about being loud or acting like you're better than everyone else. It's not about demanding attention or trying to prove yourself. Confidence is a calm, steady force that lets people see you for who you really are. It's in the way a woman walks into a room and owns her space without saying a word. It's in the way she looks people in the eye and speaks her mind without apology. That presence, that energy, it speaks volumes. And men notice it whether they realize it or not. They feel it. When a woman is confident, she doesn't need a man to define her value. She knows her worth. She knows she doesn't have to beg for love, approval, or respect. She doesn't settle for less than she deserves. And that, my friends, is magnetic. Men are drawn to women who know themselves because it challenges them to rise, to become better versions of themselves. A confident woman inspires respect, admiration, and yes, even love, because she isn't desperate, she's complete on her own. You see, confidence comes from life experience, from learning lessons, from overcoming challenges, and from growing stronger through adversity. It's built over time. A woman who has been through struggles but still stands tall carries a power that's impossible to ignore. She's not perfect. She's real. She's authentic. And authenticity is attractive. Men don't want a woman who pretends to be flawless. They want a woman who is genuine, who owns her strengths and weaknesses, and who walks through life with purpose and self-respect. Confidence also shows up in how a woman handles herself in daily life. It's in the way she sets boundaries, says no when something doesn't feel right, and doesn't apologize for standing up for herself. It's in the way she pursues her passions, nurtures her goals, and doesn't rely on anyone else for her happiness. That's the kind of energy that draws men in naturally. They see a woman who has her life together, who respects herself, and they want to be a part of that world, not because she needs them, but because she chooses to share her life with someone worthy. And here's the reality. Men can sense confidence from a mile away. They can feel it in the way a woman carries herself, in her smile, in her laugh, and even in her silence. Confidence doesn't scream. It whispers powerfully. It tells a man that she knows her value, and it challenges him to match it. That is the trait that 95.7% of men are naturally drawn to, the woman who knows herself, who loves herself, who stands tall no matter the circumstances, and who doesn't chase but attracts. So a confident woman isn't chasing validation, she's creating it for herself. She isn't trying to fit into anyone else's mold. She's proud of who she is and what she brings to the table. And when a man meets a woman like that, it changes him. He doesn't just see beauty on the outside. He sees strength, resilience, and authenticity. That's what makes a confident woman unforgettable. That's the trait that keeps men interested, engaged, and inspired. Confidence isn't just attractive, it's irresistible, it's powerful, it's magnetic, and it's the one thing that men won't stop noticing even if they can't put it into words. You know, a lot of people think that what attracts a man to a woman is her looks, the way she dresses, or how she acts around him. And yes, those things can catch attention for a moment, but let me tell you, they don't hold a man's heart. What really draws a man in, what keeps him coming back, is something much deeper than the surface. That trait is confidence, and it's the one quality that 95.7% of men are naturally drawn to. Confidence isn't just about walking tall or speaking loudly. It's about knowing your worth, standing in your power, and carrying yourself in a way that says, I respect myself and I won't settle for less than I deserve. A confident woman doesn't need constant validation from anyone. She doesn't measure herself by how many men notice her or by how many likes she gets on social media. She knows who she is. She knows her strengths and her flaws. She understands that she doesn't have to be perfect to be worthy of love or respect, and that awareness, that self-assuredness is magnetic. Men can feel it immediately. They can sense when a woman believes in herself and carries herself with dignity, and is irresistible. Confidence isn't something that comes overnight. It's built through life experiences, through challenges, through the moments when a woman stands up for herself despite fear or doubt. It's in the way she navigates the world, not by shrinking to fit someone else's expectations, but by expanding to embrace her true self. A confident woman doesn't let rejection, heartbreak, or setbacks define her. She learns, she grows, and she becomes stronger. That resilience is something that draws men like a magnet because it signals strength, stability, and independence qualities that are incredibly attractive. When a woman is confident, she also sets boundaries. She doesn't allow disrespect or mistreatment, and she doesn't apologize for prioritizing her well-being. She communicates clearly, speaks her mind with calm authority, and makes decisions that reflect her values. That kind of presence challenges men to rise to the occasion. They aren't intimidated, they are inspired. Men want to be around women who are confident because it motivates them to become better, to match her energy, and to earn the respect she naturally commands. Confidence also creates authenticity. A woman who is sure of herself doesn't pretend to be someone she's not just to please a man. She's genuine, and that authenticity makes her unforgettable. Men are drawn to women who are real, who embrace both their strengths and imperfections, and who carry themselves with a sense of purpose. It's not about showing off or dominating a room. It's about having a quiet strength that speaks louder than words ever could. The way a confident woman loves herself is evident in everything she does, in her laughter, in the way she carries herself, in how she speaks, and in the choices she makes. She doesn't need to chase love or approval because she knows her worth. And that energy draws men in naturally. They want to be a part of her life, not because she needs them, but because they respect her and are inspired by her presence. A confident woman doesn't settle, and that sets a standard that men can't ignore. Ultimately, confidence is more than an attractive trait. It's a lifestyle. It's a reflection of self-love, resilience, and authenticity. A woman who embodies confidence is powerful without trying, magnetic without effort, and unforgettable without intention. That's why 95.7% of men are drawn to it. They don't just see the confidence, they feel it. They are inspired by it. They are drawn to it. And they want to be part of the life of a woman who knows her worth, stands her ground, and walks through the world with unwavering belief in herself. Confidence isn't just attractive, it's transformative. And it's the trait that keeps a woman unforgettable in a man's eyes. You know, I've had countless conversations with women over the years, and one question always comes up: Steve, what is it that truly attracts a man to a woman? What's the trait that makes him notice her, respect her, and want to stay? And I tell them it's not her clothes, her hairstyle, or even the way she looks. Those things might grab attention for a second, but they don't hold the man's heart. The one trait that 95.7% of men are naturally drawn to, the one thing that keeps a man invested and inspired, is confidence. It's the kind of confidence that comes from knowing your worth, owning your value, and refusing to settle for anything less than you deserve. Confidence isn't about being loud, flashy, or demanding attention. It's about the quiet strength a woman carries within herself. It's in the way she walks into a room and doesn't have to prove anything because she already knows her value. It's in the way she holds herself, speaks her mind, and treats herself with respect. That energy is magnetic. Men can sense it immediately, even if they can't put it into words. They feel it. They are drawn to it. And the amazing thing is, confidence doesn't just attract men, it commands respect from everyone around her. A confident woman doesn't rely on anyone else to define her worth. She doesn't chase validation or approval. She knows that her value isn't determined by who notices her or who likes her. She understands that her self-respect and self-love are what truly make her beautiful. And when a woman walks in that kind of truth, it's powerful. Men can't help but notice it. They are naturally drawn to women who are secure, who know themselves, and who refuse to settle for anything that doesn't align with their value. Confidence comes from life experience, from learning lessons, from standing tall in the face of challenges. It's built over time, through triumphs and setbacks alike. A woman who has been through struggles but remains grounded, positive, and self-assured has a kind of strength that's impossible to ignore. That strength communicates to a man that she's independent, resilient, and not dependent on anyone else for happiness. And that independence, that's magnetic. Men don't want women who are desperate. They are drawn to women who are whole, women who stand tall on their own and choose to share their lives with someone worthy. When a woman is confident, she also sets boundaries. She doesn't allow disrespect or mistreatment. She doesn't feel the need to bend or compromise her values to please someone else. That clarity and self-assuredness challenges men to rise to her level. They are inspired, not intimidated. Confidence signals that she knows her worth, and it encourages men to respect her, to match her energy, and to bring their best selves forward. Authenticity is a part of confidence. A confident woman doesn't pretend to be someone she's not just to impress a man. She is real, honest, and unapologetically herself. That authenticity is unforgettable. Men notice it, feel it, and are drawn to it. They want to be around someone who is genuine, someone whose energy is true, and someone who carries herself with dignity and purpose. Ultimately, confidence is about self-love, resilience, and authenticity. It's about knowing that you don't need anyone else to define your value And that love, respect, and admiration come naturally when you live your truth. A confident woman doesn't chase, she attracts. She doesn't plead, she commands respect. And that is the trait that 95.7% of men are drawn to. It's powerful, magnetic, and unforgettable. Men don't just see confidence, they feel it. They are inspired by it. And they want to be part of the life of a woman who knows her worth and walks through the world with unwavering belief in herself. You know, one of the most common questions I get asked is, Steve, what is it that really attracts a man to a woman? What's that one thing that makes him notice her and want to be with her? And I tell people straight up, it's not about the clothes she wears, the way her hair looks, or even how pretty she is. Those things might catch a man's attention for a moment, but they don't keep it. What truly draws men in, what makes them stay, respect, and be inspired is confidence. That quality, that quiet power, that inner knowing of your worth is magnetic. And here's the thing, 95.7% of men are naturally drawn to it, whether they realize it or not. Confidence is not about being loud or trying to prove yourself. It's not about demanding attention or seeking approval from anyone. True confidence comes from knowing who you are, understanding your value, and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. It's in the way a woman carries herself when she walks into a room calm, grounded, and fully aware of her presence. It's in her posture, her voice, the way she interacts with people. Men can sense it immediately, even before she says a word. That energy is magnetic because it tells them she is whole, she is secure, and she knows her worth. A confident woman doesn't need anyone else to validate her existence. She doesn't chase approval or try to make someone like her to feel worthy. She understands that her self-respect and self-love are what make her attractive. When a woman carries that kind of inner strength, it's impossible for a man not to notice. He's drawn to her not because she's perfect, but because she is real. She doesn't apologize for being herself. She doesn't shrink to fit someone else's expectations. And she doesn't compromise her values to make someone comfortable. That's the kind of presence that keeps men engaged and inspired. Confidence also comes from experience, from facing life's challenges and learning from them. A woman who has faced heartbreak, obstacles, and setbacks, but continues to grow stronger and remain true to herself, embodies a kind of power that is irresistible. She has learned lessons, built resilience, and discovered that her happiness does not depend on anyone else. That independence is attractive. Men are drawn to women who stand tall on their own because it challenges them to be better, to rise to the occasion, and to respect the space she occupies in the world. When a woman is confident, she sets boundaries naturally. She knows what she will accept and what she won't. She communicates clearly, acts with intention, and refuses to tolerate disrespect. That clarity is inspiring. Men don't feel threatened by it. They are encouraged to step up and meet her on the same level. She doesn't need to manipulate or demand respect. It comes from the way she carries herself, the way she handles situations, and the way she treats herself and others. Authenticity is a crucial part of confidence. A confident woman doesn't pretend to be someone she's not to attract a man. She is genuine, honest, and unapologetically herself. That authenticity resonates. Men notice it, feel it, and are naturally drawn to it. They want to be around someone real, someone who embraces her strengths and flaws, and someone who lives her life with purpose and integrity. Confidence makes her unforgettable. Ultimately, confidence is the combination of self-love, self-respect, resilience, and authenticity. It's about standing firm in your worth and living your truth without seeking validation from anyone else. It's about attracting love, respect, and admiration by being fully yourself. Men don't just see confidence, they feel it. They are drawn to it, inspired by it, and want to be part of the life of a woman who embodies it. That is the trait that 95.7% of men cannot resist. It's powerful, magnetic, and lasting.